cheese belts. Well, welcome. We're very happy to have you. You could have been in Italy from imported cheeses and...
Looks like I've got a lot more work to do now on the trade wars.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen.
We're gearing up, but the ocean isn't big enough to hold all the containers that we would need to bring enough in. Well, if there's a trade war, everybody's trying to stock up on product because you don't know if it's going to happen or not. So a lot of people are trying to bring some things. So if you do have this change, and it's not just your regular sort of tariff, it's about kind of like doubling the price of the product and then adding the duties that go to the government or the protectionist people who want you to pay the duties in the first place. So it's actually pretty bad. It's really bad.
Thank you. I'm very
Means I can start traveling soon.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back to that too. Okay, what is your full name and where did you grow up?
That's a hard one. Michele Buster. We won't mention my middle name because I never use it. And I grew up outside of Philly in a small town called, well, those of us call it Rydal or Jenkintown. You can take your pick.
Or Jenkintown?
What did I think I was going to do, or what did I actually do?
What did you actually do?
Because I never knew what I was going to do.
Okay.
I knew I wanted, when I got out of school, I wanted to work for the Philadelphia Phillies. But it didn't work that way. I ended up working in sports for 8 years, where I traveled and I did different tennis, golf, Olympics. When I worked the Olympics, I actually worked in food, so it was a bit of foreshadowing. But there's nothing that I ever studied or did that prepared me either for ending up in a sports career or in a cheese career. So when anybody ever comes for like, oh, that's so cool, how did you get into this, what's your career path? It's like, have no idea, keep everything open, and then stuff just happens.
You could have been our Reba Drew. You could have been our sports person. I missed it. Would you describe that fateful moment when you went into cheese?
Well, this is all about women, right? But of course, generally things are about a man. So while I was doing an event in Italy, I met my ex and my current partner and his family made cheese. So, and then when I was tired of a long-distance relationship, I decided to leave my wonderful European life. I gave up my next tournament in Spain, and I moved back to the States. And instead of waiting forever for World Cup soccer to get organized, because I was supposed to work for them, I wanted to stop here. I'm hearing a man complain all the time. So he always complained about not being happy about where his cheese was in the country. So finally one day I just said, no, that's enough. No more complaints, just I love your product, teach me cheese, and I'll figure out how to put it where it needs to go.
Wow! You're the best! That's amazing!
I bet I could do that with the trade words too.
Yeah, I feel like you could just solve these things.
Yeah. Okay. Forever Cheese is the name of our company, and it wasn't always that, but we finally came up with a name that people knew what we did. And along the way, since what we do is represent lots of different producers, small producers, medium, whatever it is, and highlight their products, but we also wanted to create a brand that was just ours, so that once we started to interact more with the public and not just with the business side of it or just with the stores and the restaurants, we wanted people to have a way to follow our products. So if they liked our Pecorino Romano, then if we had a unified brand for different things, then maybe they would also look for the fig cake or whatever else it was. So we don't have everything under Mythica brand, but when I looked for it, Mythica means mythic in Latin, and so just we pick a handful of products that we love and we have a lot of confidence in, and we hope that that way it makes it easier to kind of find a path to more of our products.
That's very smart. Do I become more attractive if I eat Forever Cheese?
Of course.
Amazing. Well, that means I want everyone to reach their potential and to also become more attractive. So we are going to actually taste 3 cheeses.
Okay, so tonight we were highlighting women. And the honest truth is it's not easy to find a lot of women cheese producers. And in Italy, it's even harder than in Spain or other places. So when I was thinking about it, most of the female producers I work with come from Spain. And there must be something about goats and women, because almost all of them are women who are making goat's milk cheeses. So there are 2 triangles and then some crumbles or a shape on your plate. The shape goes last. 1, because it's actually not women made. And 2, because it's the strongest and saltiest and will kill your palate. There's a whiter triangle. This one. This is Monte Alba from the south. So it's from Andalusia. And this is a semi-soft goat cheese made by Pedro's sister. Kind of looks like manchego, but it's not. Everybody loves a zigzag weave in Spain, so now we're also programmed to think that every time we see this in this country, it's manchego and that it's sheep's milk, but this is goat. And then the one that you should have after is this one, which is a little bit more ziggy-zaggy, which is called La Dama Sagrada, which is a further aged goat cheese that's unpasteurized, and that's this girl here. And it's too far for you to see, but it's a silhouette that I had done after one of my favorite t-shirts that I held on to for like 20 some odd years when I lived in the south of Spain. And I named the cheese after one of my favorite groups in Spain.
Oh, cool.
El Último de la Fila. So I actually want to do a whole bunch of different cheeses with different song names, but I haven't gotten there.
Oh.
And then the last one is full beef pecorino romano. So it's one of the very, 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 very last producers of pecorino romano in the countryside of Rome.
If you were to like describe like a little dating profile of this cheese, what would you do?
Monte Alba.
Monte Alba.
Well, a little bit flaky, a little bit demure, and also very soft inside. Kind of open to lots of different possibilities, and you know, kind of, on the other hand, has a little bit of like a punky, bleach blonde, you know, white spiked hair going on.
Ooh! Shall we try? Have you already tried?
You'll get some grassiness. She's made with a goat called the payoya, which is a very rare breed that was resuscitated, and there aren't that many.
That's so bad. What about this dating profile?
The Sacred Dame.
The Sacred Dame.
She's sexy.
Ooh. She's trying, yeah.
She's got to look out for her, you know. She's got a little edge. She likes to, as you can tell when you eat her, she's got a little bit of grainy because she's aged a little longer, so she's a more mature lady. But that doesn't stop her. She's also quite open and flexible. And
she does her Zumba, like swimming.
And she's raw milk, so she's the real deal.
So good. Should we get some wine to help us for our last one?
That's a great.
California Cafe from J Vineyards and Winery.
I wouldn't be able to bring Dama Sagrada, Monte Alba, or anything from Spain if the cheese that I put on the plate there, if we didn't sell this cheese, if we didn't talk about this cheese. The full beef pecorino romano was the only cheese that we started out with over 20 years ago, and that was precisely what my partner used to complain about, that nobody understood the difference between pecorino romano from Rome and pecorino romano from Sardinia, and that it was just all thrown together. So we set out to explain the story of his family's cheese and get it into specialty shops and restaurants who really cared and wanted to know the history and why it was different, that the sheep produce less milk, that the cheese is not as hard and dry. Is it salty? Yeah, it's kind of salty. It's been aged for 3 months in salt, but it has a lot more butter fat, so it's not like, it doesn't get stuck here. It kind of still slides down. and adds flavor. And in the South, when you have very flavorful foods, you need cheese that stands up to it. So that's why there's a cheese that exists, whereas, you know, what did you call it? Crowd-pleasing Parmigiano. It's more in the North, we have more, you know, lighter foods, creamier foods. So there's an actual, in cuisine, a reason for having a sweeter cow's milk cheese versus a spicier, sassier. You know, if we're going to define things in the Pecorino Romano.
This would be a sassy one?
I can't lie, it's made by guys, a house full of guys, but to me there's nothing wrong with that. And, but it's truly the backbone of what we do. The name of our company used to be Sini Folvi, and nobody could ever pronounce it. They would come out like Sini Folding, or they think we were a cardboard box company, or I don't know, but no one could ever say it. So one day we were just talking, we said, you know, we don't just sell Italian cheese anymore. We sell Italian cheese, we sell some Spanish cheese. Let's think of a name that people can pronounce and they know what we do. So that was in 1998, and we named it Forever Cheese. And in 1998, tripped over this family of people making handmade fig cakes and date cakes and fruit bars, and we started to sell them, and it killed it. It all of a sudden became Forever Cheese. What you're eating or have eaten is just hand-pressed in whole figs. There's, in the fig cake category, you have puree of fig, which is kind of like very kind of squishy, soft, and it's a puree, so it's not like this. Each one of these figs is hand-cut by a group of women. So they slice the fig open, I gotta explain this. There's like this round mold, and you hand cut the fig open and you put them down in a layer. Then you take Marcona almonds, the queen of almond from Spain, and you sprinkle them. Then you hand cut some more figs and you put it there. Now this all sounds really easy. And you put it all together, and then you put a mold and you press it down, and it's supposed to all stick together. Well, I can tell you that it is not easy. Because you put the figs on there and they're like light. They start jumping up and down on you. They don't stay flat, and they go like this. And I mean, I gave up after. I gave it to Dad. I said, Dad, you've been doing this for 70 years. You're better than me. I am not good at this. But they do have, just like all the women, the family is mainly the brothers. But then there's just a legion of women who sit there and hand destem the figs and make all the fig cakes, and then hand wrap on our little ones. They hand wrap the papers. There was one lady there who had wrapped for 32 years, and when she retired, you know, nobody can wrap as fast as she can.
Wow.
But all the power are all women.
Wow.
All women in a small
There's
town.
blood, sweat, and tears in that fig cake you're eating. Would you tell us what your belt is, and like what the things are on your whole belt?
Friends of mine called Bosca make cheese tools. So they came up with this amazing belt, which I just thought
Show
was
it
fun
off.
to bring.
This cool belt.
So this is a two-handled knife that you'd use to cut kind of bigger wheels of cheese or firmer rinds. This, you should never leave home without it. This actually, in Sweden, every morning we use this to plane our cheese onto the Hernikocker and the other cheeses, but it's super fun when you don't want to cut up all the little wedges of cheese you have. You can just plane it, and it works really well. We have this, which is perfect for chiseling up your Pecorino Romano or Manchego or firm cheeses. This guy is for soft cheese. So you can use it for soft cheese, for some blue cheese. I don't think I can take this one out. It's wedged in.
Seems like a,
This one.
Wow.
Yeah, this
That's
one.
a murder
You
weapon.
want to use serrated ones for things that have like a washed rind or a brie or even like a taleggio. And then the two prongs here, you can just pick and serve your cheese.
My dad would have been so scared if I he always got so mad at me if I used my knife to use it.
And this is your utility belt, whatever you want to do. I have a Pecorino knife in here, maybe a small wine glass, your gloves, and then I left the raclette holder home.
It's okay. What I love about that is because women never have pockets, you can just put that around your dress. And then you got it.
It is, but they need to put more holes in it.
Yeah. Well, please look up Forever Cheese Company and give one more round of applause for